Hi there. Welcome to Let's Talk with Emma and my third episode. Today, my guest is Grace Simon, and we actually had met up earlier to have brunch, and I was so excited to talk to her, and that I even forgot to do my intro on site. But that's me. I don't normally do things all the proper way, or it's not the proper way, because who says what is the proper way? But Grace is going to talk about the times a little bit on the times that we live in and our need for connection. And that's just not doing an intro is just me. It's the kind of person I am, and the need for connection and being yourselves is basically what I want this channel to be, and to talk about behind the filters, behind the cameras, just about everyday life. So without further ado, let's have a listen to Grace.
I am not recording. Hi, Grace.
Hi, Emma.
Tell us a little bit about the Amazing Grace, because I always say Amazing Grace, but you are amazing in a way. It's not in a way, you are amazing. And we were just talking a little bit a while ago that, you always say that I do so many things. Wait until you see all the things that Grace does. So tell us a little bit about the multifaceted of Grace Simon.
Multifaceted. Well, I've been married for 32 years, going on, 32 years this July. I got married when I was 19 years old. It's a long time. So I grew up with my husband, and we have 4 wonderful children. And I have a son-in-law and a daughter-in-law and a grandbaby. So I'm a grandmother with another one on the way. That's my personal life, which is super full and super fun. I had 3 children by the age of 26. And then we had our 4th when I was 38. So she's now 12 years old. And our life is really full when it comes to our family. On a professional level, I'm a Realtor. I got my license when I was 31 years old. And I've done really well with that. I got into real estate because I love people. People are really my passion. Jesus is my passion. My faith is number 1 in my life. And that really is the core to who I am, and why I do what I do is because of my life in my faith. And so my whole life, everything that I do, I've always been very involved in the community and in church and ministry, in missions, leading teams to Cuba and different countries. My life has just been really encamped in that. And so real estate has really allowed me to do what I really am passionate for, in serving people and serving the community. And that's been absolutely wonderful. I got into municipal government in 2018. I'm a city councilor where I serve the community at a greater core. I got into it because the market had shifted, and I realized that I hadn't grown my community the way that I needed it for business to grow. And so the opportunity came forward that I could run for municipal government. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to meet as many people as I possibly can through this process. And if I happen to win, that'll be a great opportunity. And if I lose, it was still a great opportunity. I ended up winning, and I'm in my 2nd term now. And it really has been an incredible opportunity about learning where I live and serving people and serving my community and being in service to God of what I feel like He's called me into. I'm also a certified speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell. John Maxwell is the most influential non-celebrity leader, business leader globally. And his passion really is about leadership and personal development. And so I aligned myself with him and his certification, and have been incorporating my coaching into the real estate and into the community, being involved in helping to fight human trafficking. And so all that certification really has come in alignment with everything that I do, which is super, super fun.
So I told you that you did a lot of things. And when you say that I do a lot of things, look at all the things that you do. But tell me something. In today's day, the days that we're living right now, as we're living in our climate, where do you think that people need the most help with? Where do you think that people are feeling most lost but need really most help with?
Straight up, it's identity. We are in an identity crisis.
Yep.
And so in anything that we do, in everything that we do, love God, love people. And we know that our identity is in Christ, right? Like, really, honestly, when we come to know how to surrender our life to the Lord, it's not religious. It's not about religion falling into a conformity and a format.
Right.
I'm not a religious person. So when somebody says, "Oh, you're religious," I am not. I just am not. I don't go to a denominational church. I don't follow certain things. I follow the Bible, and my relationship with the Lord is so important to me. And when you get to an understanding of God loving His creation, loving His people, and our purpose on earth is to draw closer to Him, to find our identity in Him. And when we learn truly what our identity is and what it means to be a son and a daughter, and for us to serve people, serve God and serve people, we're identified in that. We get our confidence in that. We get our being in that. And people are moving away from the things of the Lord. They're crushing foundations. They're crushing history. And people are just getting more lost. And there's never been so much confusion. There's never been so much loss of identity than what we're in today. And so I think in anything that we can do, what we can give to people is helping them to find their identity, helping them to find and know their value.
I love that.
And so that's probably the most important thing for me. We were talking earlier about real estate, and I'm like, I don't love real estate. I love people. I love being able to come into people's homes. I find it a privilege to come into people's homes and to meet them where they're at. Real estate is the most stressful time in a person's life. Mm-hmm. Moving and funerals are the most stressful people's time. So I don't really want to be in conducting funerals. I'd rather be in the midst of the stress of people moving and, helping to facilitate that, helping to coach that, helping to mentor through that has been a really wonderful, wonderful piece. But what I bring into this area of real estate is helping people to find their identity in where they live. What's important to them, living because it's their choice to move somewhere, and why that means it's more than a house, it's in the community. And what did you want your life to be about? And so that's a big part of what I bring into, whether it's my office and having a community hub. I'm welcoming people into our center, and if they want to offer programs and teachings and different venues, I want to make a way for that, because they're finding their identity and how they can serve, right? How they can love, how they can be a part of other people's lives. And I just believe that the more connected we are, the more that we're serving, the easier it is for us to find our identity. When people are at home and they feel like they're in isolation and they're removed, they lose their identity, they lose their confidence. And so I think that's really, for me, what it is, networking with realtors, trying to build as big of a connection in the community as I possibly can to help the crisis of the loss that people are experiencing since COVID. Getting back into community, getting back into connection, getting back into communicating is something in a mission of itself.
It's just getting back to connection. It's just like having coffee, like me and you are having had coffee this morning, and being out and being out in the world, because we weren't made to be isolated. We were made to live in community.
That's right.
If you had to give just a couple of pointers of advice to people that want to be in community or want to connect to someone but really don't know exactly what to do, Coach Grace, what would you advise?
So if people want to be back into community,
Connect with people.
yeah.
But they're scared. They don't know. They don't think that they can do it.
I usually start with the place because people will ask me, I want to get involved. I want to, what can I do? I'd like to serve. Serve where you have a heart for, right? I asked you if you would have any interest in going to Portugal.
Right.
Thinking because that's your language, that's where you're from. Would you be interested in going and teaching there? And that's the furthest place from your heart right now is to go to Portugal. So you're not going to go somewhere that you have no heart for.
Exactly.
Like God gives us a heart for things. Maybe one day you will, but right now you don't. And so I always say, find where your heart is. Like what's inside of you? Like who do you have compassion for? Or when you hear a story, like what makes you cry? What makes you mad? What makes you glad? What makes you happy? Like find those things that really move your emotions, that really move you to want to contribute or, make you mad that you need to do something about it. Like what are those things? Start there, asking yourself those questions, and then identify in and around your community where you could serve that would have a connection to what's in your heart.
Yeah.
We have to have a connection to where we're serving. It has to have a meaning to you. And so I think that's the best place, is that if you're feeling isolated, you feel like feeling isolated because you're not giving of yourself. We become belly gazers and we get so overwhelmed with our own circumstances and our own situation. But when you start helping people and start thinking about out from yourself, then you find identity, then you find value, then you find purpose.
I love it. Such an inspiration. Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much for doing this, and thank you for being in one of my new episodes for the YouTube channel. I love working with you, and I love being inspired by you.
Oh, well, you inspire me too, Emma. We inspire each other, and that's what life is really about.
Thank you.